Hi, Amy. I'm here setting up right now.
Hey, Nick.
Did you put on a jacket to be a Toastmaster?
Did I do what?
You put on a sports coat, like a.
Oh yeah, I just, I have meetings for work today.
Oh, okay. Not for Toastmasters. Got it. Cool. Thanks.
Well, for both, work from home attire, yoga pants and a jacket.
I didn't want to ask, but okay. Yep. Makes sense.
Oh yeah, it's real.
How's your day going?
Oh, it's fine. We're doing budget meetings, so that's always fun. I don't know if you.
How was your weekend?
I don't know if you knew, but Suk is not going to be able to talk today.
Shoot. Trying to do
so I have a lot of table topics questions prepared. It's just going to be a table topics meeting, I guess. Oh, are you there?
I'm kind of here. I'm messing around with Apple TV and it's messing with my audio. Okay. Trying to get this to work. All right. Let's see if this works. Sweet. We have normally in Toastmasters, before COVID, we would meet and you would always talk in front of the podium.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you all right. It's a little bit echoey just because of the room.
Okay.
But when you get closer to the mic, it's better.
Be right back. I have a microphone that I'm gonna try and use. Here.
Okay.
Great.
Did you hear what I said about it being table topics today?
By me being it?
Well, no, I'll be Toastmaster, but we just don't have any speakers.
Soup dropped out too?
Yeah, something came up.
Oh, that's a bummer. Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. Okay, that's we can ask if people want to practice storytelling. We've done that before. If they want to tell a story for a couple minutes, just to get in the habit of storytelling, something we can recommend. Or yeah, we just do table topics.
Yeah, we could totally do either of those. I think the authenticity theme might give people storytelling ideas.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something I can probably storytell about.
I mean, I have lots of table topic questions, so I have plenty to reach the whole time if we need to do that too.
Sweet.
I have 25 questions ready.
Good. Where did you make them or did you get them from somewhere?
No, I got them from an article. From Simple Life 365.
Okay. Oh, is it like pages of questions?
There are 25 of them.
Okay. I found this one site that has like a couple hundred table topic icebreaker questions that can get pretty deep. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, these are designed as to be self-reflective, you know, about authenticity. That's my theme today. So they're in that vein, but we could mix it up too.
Okay. Yeah, kind of play it by ear, open, however you want to guide the meeting, you know, since we don't have speakers. If you want to run the table topics, or if you want to let people ask questions too, it's totally however you want to lead the ship.
Okay. We'll see who shows up and I'll take the temperature of the room.
Yeah. Speaking of people showing up, where is everybody? That's
I don't know. It's 12:30.
oh, Haley's here. Okay. We used to be like all dudes, and now we have females in the club, which is awesome.
Good.
It was interesting. It was just
Diversity in
me.
there.
What's that?
Yeah, throw some diversity in there.
It's nice. It's great. Because we would like talk about a lot of male topics. So now it's good to get different perspective as well.
Hi, Haley.
Hi,
How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good.
I feel like my face is huge.
Your face?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get closer to the camera. Feel better.
Yeah. I have to scoot back. How are you, Nick?
Nick, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. She asked how you were.
Oh, sorry. I was confused by Ian's hair.
Hi, Ian. Oh, is it just Ian? I thought there were like 3 people there.
I wish I could have hair like that.
Just gotta let it grow, man.
This is great. Not too hot for it?
Yeah, it probably is, but I'm dedicated. I'm growing it out for 2 full years, and then I'm gonna donate it. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, I've done the St. Baldrick's thing quite a few times, and you have to have like 10 inches at least to donate it. So
Mhm.
yeah,
And
it's
you
fun.
probably can't chemically treat it or anything, right?
I mean, I'm not planning on doing that anyways. Just growing it out. It's fun. Gets crazy though.
How many inches do you have right now?
It's almost 10 inches, it's like 9.5. So like I'm right there, but I'll probably just go bald in March.
Awesome.
Yeah. Who are we waiting on?
We were waiting on you.
The way of Suk and Suk. This is Suk's last day, isn't it?
Yeah, we were not lucky enough to speak today, I guess.
Well, how's everybody else doing? How you doing, Haley?
Good, thanks.
You live in Denver?
Yeah, I'm in Arvada.
Oh, nice. How long you lived here?
I grew up in Aurora and went to college in Nebraska and then moved back.
Nice.
Yeah,
What's high school did you go to?
Cherokee Trail.
Okay. I grew up here until like 4th grade, and then I moved down to Pueblo. So I went down to
Oh,
Pueblo.
my boyfriend's from Pueblo.
Nice. Who's your boyfriend?
Brandon Rick.
Brandon Rick.
He has a hair like you know too. He hasn't got
Really?
a haircut this whole time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not good with names either, so I'd have to see. I mean, if I know him, it'd be by his face, not by his name.
Yeah.
Amy, where are you from?
Well, I live in Albuquerque for like 13 years now, but
Yeah.
I grew up in Kansas.
Oh, okay. West Coast, technically. Someone
I'm
or
from the
a
West
lot of
Coast.
people from Florida say I sound like I have a Midwestern accent. And I go, well, technically we are in the Midwest, Colorado, but that's not what other people think is the Midwest, you know?
Right, it's the Mountain West.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know if we have our own accent out here in Colorado or not.
I haven't really noticed it.
Yeah.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, thank you. I am ready to be your counter if you were concerned here.
Oh, excellent. I hadn't even got to that concern. There's so many
Okay, sorry.
in front of, yeah. So Nick, do you think we should just go ahead and get started? Jerry said she was coming, but it's already 12:35.
Let's roll.
Yeah, let's get
Okay, well, welcome everybody. Today I'm going to be your Toastmaster. As most of you know, I think all of you know, I am Amy. And the meeting overview, we're kind of going to do, I did send out an email, so hopefully you got that if you're on the membership email. My theme today is authenticity. And we will do a little tweet response here in a minute. Specifically, the way in which you embody, express, or avoid being your authentic self. So that's coming up. And then we were going to have a couple speakers today, but neither of them were able to be prepared or be here. So we can explore some possibilities. And I wanted to ask you guys what you think. We can either do like a storytelling session where we just kind of take turns doing a 2-minute sort of storytelling practice, or we can do table topics. Does anyone have input? Preference? Thoughts? Prepared for table topics, not prepared?
Well, will the stories be given like a topic to tell stories about? Or is it just open-ended?
I mean, I think you could tell any story you want.
Okay.
Yeah, or if,
like
you know, the theme of authenticity sparks something, you can use that, but you don't have to.
I like
and
that.
just to give a reference, done this in the past where, oh, I should look up here. We allow people to share a story that they've had in the past and just to practice telling it. Storytelling is so important for public speaking. So if you have a story that you've used a lot, this is a great place to kind of practice that as well, just so you can be a better storyteller. So if there's a unique story that you have that's like a couple minutes long, this is a great opportunity to do that. Or we can just do table topics too.
If I could express a vote here, I think the storytelling idea is a good one, and I think that's something that Nick, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't done that in a little while, and I think that would be, I personally would find it very very helpful.
Me too.
Okay. Haley, any thoughts?
No, it sounds good to me.
Sounds okay? Okay. So we have a consensus. We will do storytelling today. And I will look at the roles here. We have Tim as the awe counter. Thank you, Tim.
So I will be
Eric-
listening. Oh, sorry.
Give me just 1 minute and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
So Eric
Chomping
is
at the
going to
bit
be
here today.
grammarian. Eric was going to be grammarian, but he maybe couldn't make it today, it looks like. I will be timing and I guess taking a vote count to figure out how to do that.
Amy, I'll do grammarian and I'll do the vote since I got the Zoom control.
Okay, great. Thank you, Nick. Okay, so yes, now we can move ahead with roles. Tim, go ahead. What are you doing today?
I'm going to be your counter, Amy, and that means I'm going to be listening to everybody during the meeting to pick out crutch words or other speaking tics, and I will give a brief report at the end of the meeting.
All right, thank you. Nick, you want to talk about the grammarian role
Yes,
and
thank
the
you.
word of the day?
Sure. I don't know if you guys noticed, I got the podium here. Ideally, when we meet in person, you stand up and stand behind the podium and present. Oh, but my camera's not on the podium. Sorry, let's
Well, you just look like you have no head.
yeah, it's kind of awkward. I'll have to move the table up, I think. Cool. Well, thank you, Toastmaster. I'll be the grammarian. I'll be looking for interesting words and phrases that we use during our speech. The word of the day is peach. And peach, the definition is to inform against. So kind of like betray. So to peach is the word of the day. I would also accept it as like, you're a peach. Like you're, I think there's another definition for it. This is just what's on the Webster definition online. But if you want to use as like a cool characteristic to somebody else, accept that as well. And I will be giving a report at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nick. So could you drop that word and its definition into the chat?
Yeah.
I had seen that before, so it might be easier to read it. Okay, let's start with a little tweet response. Again, it is think about the ways in which you embody, express, or avoid being your most authentic self. And I'll start. Give you a second to stew on that. So this week or last weekend, I colored my hair purple. I don't know if you can see it, but it's I wouldn't let them bleach it, but they put a bunch of purple in it. It's a supernatural hair color. So it says, supposed to say to others that I'm not afraid to be a little different. And one way I'm less than authentic, I think, is that I do avoid sharing my pessimism about the institution of marriage. So that's my little response. Anybody want to go first?
You can pick on somebody.
I see Tim wants to go.
Thank you, Amy. I want to approach it from a slightly different tack. How do I ensure, or not ensure, but how do I bolster my authenticity? I think I actually, you know, I'm gonna use a visual aid here. Hang on one second. You, yes, you. This is how I help ensure authenticity. This is one of our dogs. And the thing about dogs that I believe is that they are creatures without guile, and they exude pure love, and that helps me by connecting with that on a daily basis, if not a minute by minute basis or second by second, helps me be more authentic.
Right.
Whether they know they're doing it or not.
Excellent. Thank you, Tim.
And he's gone right back to sleep.
Good for him. All right. Haley?
So I think the question was kind of two-part. How do you maintain your authenticity, or how have you not been authentic? So I'll say,
Or both.
okay. So I feel like during the pandemic, I haven't been able to be my authentic self because I haven't had the opportunity to do things that make me feel like my full self, fully alive and participating in the world. And one of those things would be traveling. So I feel more authentic when I'm able to experience new places and try new things.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, pandemic offered a lot of challenges. One of them to maintain our authentic, oh my gosh, authentic selves. There we go. Ian, you got a response?
Did you say me? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that I try to be authentic by not caring. My sister was a big supporter of the book How to Not Give a Fuck. If you guys have read that, I haven't read it yet, but I just encompass the message. So, you know, in any situation, I really don't try to impress anybody. I don't try to, you know, make someone not feel bad or any of it. I just kind of do how I go, and you can accept me how I am. If you have a problem, please let me know. And I will apologize in any way possible. But I usually just try to put myself out there and, you know, not ask for permission, but ask for forgiveness if the situation arises for that. So I think it's definitely helped me with my speaking, with just work and everything. I think just going out and doing without fear of consequence is an easy way to be authentic.
All right, thank you, Ian. Shamelessly authentic. Nick, got a response?
This is a hard question. And I felt most recently I was really authentic when I challenged myself as an MC. I emceed this event on Friday. Didn't really know what I was doing, but I did it. The event went very well. I got a lot of great feedback, and I really felt during the event myself, which was awesome. And I thought just being myself is just, you know, being authentic. And I guess just because I do to me, challenging myself and pushing myself can allow me to be who I am. So that's my answer to the tweet response. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Nick. All right. I want to, before we move on, recognize that we have a brand new member with us today, Haley. So congratulations and welcome. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you.
And let us know if there's anything we can do to support you as a club.
Okay.
Okay, so we can kick off the storytelling portion now, I think. So I'm going to serve as the timer. I forgot to describe my timer role earlier. So I will be, I think I have the backgrounds downloaded. So we're going to do 2 minutes for storytelling, right, Nick? It's the same time.
Sure.
So 2 minute stories at 1 minute 30. I'll put it on green. Is that right? Or is it 1 minute? Yeah, 1 minute 30, it goes to green. At 2, it goes to yellow. No, that doesn't seem right.
You can do at 2 minutes green, and then 2:30 yellow, and then 3 minutes red.
Okay, so give a little more time for these. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will do that with my background here in Zoom so that when you're speaking, you can tell how long you've gone. So there's no limit to topics. Does anyone have a story they want to start with?
Yeah, I like to start. I was gonna tell a story about this dog.
Please, Ian.
All right, everyone. Well, this is my dog, Bruce Wayne. I came up with his name because when he was a puppy, he had like almost a bat signal on his chest. So that's why his name is Bruce Wayne. But Bruce, I initially was fostering a dog for a weekend and was planning on keeping that dog at the time, but came to be that this dog was impossible to contain. And I was still traveling into work at the time. He was a huge Akita and would break out of every single cage. We had like a 7-foot thing out back that he would jump, and it was just impossible. And after that, I kind of stopped trying to get a dog for a while because I didn't think it would work well with my work. And then Bruce came into my life, and my aunt, her friend, was fostering him, and at the time I wasn't sure. I definitely didn't want to put myself in this situation where I, get attached and not get the dog. So I ended up going over to my aunt's friend's house, and Bruce was there. He was just a tiny little thing, probably, I don't know, had to be as big as his head is now, but he was so cute, and he was playing with this big golden and just aggressive, but like just playfully aggressive. And they had opened up the front door to let someone in, and both the dogs bolted out the front, and the golden retriever kept running and ran across the road, and Bruce randomly just like stopped on the sidewalk and sat down so perfectly and cute. And I was just immediately attached. And since then, we've been best of friends. He's been traveling with me in the van. He's got his own little seat, his own little bed. He's the biggest athlete in the world. Frisbee, tennis ball, any ball he's addicted to, and he's the most lovable creature on this planet. So this is my dog, Bruce. He's the best dog, hands down. Don't try to argue me on this because I will continue for ages, but he's 3 years old now, and he's a Labrador Jack Russell Terrier mix that I've looked up. I haven't done the test yet, so that's Bruce. Thank you, everybody.
What a peach. It works, right?
Thank you, Ian, for introducing Bruce and telling us that story about how you met. Does anyone else have a story loaded into the canon?
I know Tim does.
Sure, Nick. Thank you for sensing my deep anticipation about this. So I actually have a story that relates to today's theme of authenticity. It's a story that I tell somewhat infrequently because it's a little inappropriate, but I think we're all friends here and we can be adults about this. So the story is, I was at an event that my father used to take me to, and I was there with my youngest brother, Nicholas, and we were it's a weekend sort of retreat type of event, and they have big events where there's speakers and there is music, and it's really and delicious food. It's a wonderful event, and my father has always enjoyed it, and my brother and I have always enjoyed going with my father. And we were at one of the I think it was at a musical concert, and I forgot to mention, there's quite a bit of drinking that goes on at this event. And there was an afternoon concert, and we had quite a bit of wine at lunch, and I think we had some beers during the concert, and we were leaving the concert, and we came across a man let me just say, he was expressing his authenticity to a degree that it's become basically a symbol to my brother and I. And he was a very old man. I don't know exactly how old, but he was walking with a walker, and there was the event took place outside, and there were these paths that were leading out of the event space and into an area where there were several other sort of after parties taking place. I'll leave it at that. And this gentleman was walking alone, and my brother and I were sort of watching him, and we were chatting, but he suddenly veers his walker off to the side and proceeds to pee between the bars on his walker. So he was directing the stream of urine between the bars on the walker onto a very large redwood tree that happened to be there. And my brother and I watched this, and we're absolutely delighted, because he gave zero fucks. This man, he completed his urination, set himself up straight again, pulled his walker back, and proceeded on his way into the next party. And my brother and I have often thought about this, and we have theorized that there comes a point in everybody's life where you achieve the state of unembarrassability, which I think is a key component to authenticity. So that's our little story about the man peeing between the rails on his walker, and a key component of what I think authenticity is, unembarrassability.
All right, thank you, Tim. Very authentic experience there. You felt like you knew him really well after that, right?
Oh, yeah, we never got his name. I don't think I probably couldn't pick him out on a lineup, but yes, no, it was, it was, whenever I tell the story, I don't think I do the man justice, because it just sounds like somebody, somebody who was tired and couldn't make it to a bathroom, but he did it with such incredible dignity and certainty. He was incapable of being embarrassed, which I think is really wonderful. But there are probably other less filthy ways, I guess, of expressing that in life.
Yeah.
But
I have logistical questions about it, but I'm not going to ask them here.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of technique involved, but I don't know much about that.
Okay. Does anyone else have a story that authenticity?
Is that a mic drop moment? I can just sort of.
How was it? I gave you a few seconds of silence there.
Haley, would you like to go? If not, I'll go.
You can go. That one's hard to follow up.
It's, it's not a competition. Okay. Oh.
It's not a competition, but you are being judged.
I want to be authentic here for my story. This story happened to me yesterday. Yes. My job right now is a general manager for 3 B2B SaaS companies. Dealing with clients a lot, and one of the companies we're restructuring our services and we're discontinuing one. Our biggest customer uses this service, and I was looking at their account and realized we have a bad deal with them. The previous general manager created this really awful deal for us. They got a really good price, and we were losing money. And I decided I'm going to go in, schedule a meeting, and just let them know we're taking away the service and we're charging you more. Deal with it. I prepped for it. I created this whole proposal, thought about the negotiation aspect of the deal and like what their needs and wants were. I knew our price point was really low to the competition, so I thought we had a lot of leverage going into it. Had a meeting yesterday morning, went through my presentation, and then the client says, "You are aware that we have a 2-year agreement with you." My eyes just like blew up. I'm like, no, I don't know about a 2-year agreement. Why would we ever sign a 2-year agreement? Because all our customers are either 1 year or monthly, and they pay monthly. And he's like, yeah, we signed a 2-year agreement. And if you want to get out of this deal, you have to at least give us a 6-month notice. I'm like, can you send me this document that I'm not aware of? And find out after the meeting. So let me take a step back. I decided to backtrack and say, well, let me read this document. I do want to abide by our agreement and make things right, so I'm not breaking any contracts. So we ended the meeting, and I'm right now trying to go through the document that I should have read fully, so you see how we can move forward. But the lesson learned is to read the original contract fully and not assume that they're like all other customers. And it was a great learning experience, and also it helped start the conversation of we're going to terminate your contract in 6 months. So in the end, it's going to work out. But it was a aha moment of like, oh crap, I didn't realize this, and why did the previous general manager create this horrible deal for us? Like it's not. That's my story. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Hard lessons learned,
Yeah.
but learned, I'm sure.
You live and you learn.
Right. The only way sometimes. Certainly the best way. Okay, Haley. Do you have one ready? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but
Sure, I'll do my best.
that's all you have to do.
I will try to follow the theme of authenticity and what I mentioned earlier about traveling. So tomorrow morning, there's a solar eclipse, and I have seen 2 total solar eclipses in my life and made it a goal to become an eclipse tracer. And the first total eclipse I saw was the one in Nebraska in 2017. And then the last one I saw was 2019 in Chile. And I went with one of my oldest friends to Nebraska, and we drove to the middle of nowhere. And we had a picnic off the side of a dirt road and set up our spot. And there were other people who came, and we didn't know them. And we were waiting. The whole process takes about 2 hours from the beginning to the end, but the eclipse itself lasts like anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes. I think there are longer ones, but this one was pretty short. The totality was very short, but the event overall, we were there for a while and people were gathering, and it was an amazing experience to share with all of these strangers in the middle of nowhere and have this event happen where it just got dark and it looked like dusk, and all of the bugs started chirping and making noises, and everyone was exclaiming like, oh my God, this is amazing. And it was just a really remarkable experience that touched me and my friend to the point where we wanted to see the next one, which was in Chile. So she and I went there in 2019 and made a 2-week trip of it. And that one was a different experience. It was on the beach, and it was in winter time, and it was right at sunset, so it was on the horizon, and people from all over. I think a lot of people from the United States went down there because they were also touched by the one that went over Nebraska. But I had a lot of friends and coworkers who saw that one and got the same idea to make this a hobby and a passion. And I think it would be an amazing way to travel the world and choose destinations going forward, because they happen about once every 2 years or so. But there is one tomorrow. It's not a total solar eclipse. I think it's partial, but I don't think it will be visible from Denver. So I just wanted to tie that in with authenticity and traveling and what one of my passions is. Thank you.
I want to ask, have you heard of this guy? He did a TED Talk, David Barron.
I don't think so.
He's also a eclipse chaser.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience. I think everyone should see one. There's going to be another one over the United States in 2024. So mark your calendars.
If you wanted a good pun to use in your story, I would use total eclipse of the heart.
Oh, that's good.
I was thinking that.
Good, Nick. Okay. I could do one if somebody can time me.
Yeah, okay.
You time me, Nick?
Yeah.
Okay. Best stories I have, I think, are dating horror stories. So also involves authenticity, right? Dating is all about being authentic and showing your absolute best self. Oh wait, those are not the same thing. So I was on the market, I don't know, it's been a few years now. So this was a while ago. But I met this guy online, because that's how we so often meet now. And he worked at these labs here, like a respectable job, you know, seemed like a really nice guy, lived in a good part of town. So I agree after a couple dates to get in his truck and go to these nearby hot springs, which we have in New Mexico, like the natural hot springs. And we're driving, because it's a little ways, maybe an hour or so. We're driving, and he's like, so I just wanted to let you know that I got tested and I'm totally clean. I don't have any STDs or STIs. I was very caught off guard in that moment. I thought, okay, so that was awkward. Well, then we get to the hot springs, and so I should give a little more preface on that, because we had not even remotely discussed any next level, anything. This was just dating. Totally caught me off guard with that. But then we get to the hot springs and we're there, and there's like a lot of people there. It's a very, very public. Anybody can go. There's usually a lot of people partaking in different substances, and they're very free and open. So there was a young woman there who seemed a little uncomfortable with the people she was with. And this was at the height of the Me Too moment also. So I decided that I was just going to take my top off, because I thought it was really important that I give an authentic self experience to this young woman, like set an example for her. Like, you don't need to be afraid of those guys you're with or anybody else in the world. So I totally just got into the hippie lifestyle there for a second. And it was very fun, but I may have given that guy the wrong idea. And it just got more awkward from there. And then the next date that we went on, because there was one more. Sometimes you don't know when to cut it off. We decided we were going hiking, and he brings a bottle of wine, and I don't even want to know what else was in that backpack. I said, you know, when you're hiking, it's really good to have water because that's hydrating, not wine. Just another dating nightmare. That was my story. Thanks.
I kind of let that go long just because I want to hear the end of that story.
Way too much authenticity there.
I want to keep this yellow. I want to hear how this ends.
That's cheating.
I was being authentic. I wanted to hear more.
All right, you get a pass then. Yeah, we do not have to go in order. It's only 1:11. So we could do some more stories if anybody has another one.
Well, I can keep us going in order here. Maybe I want to, and you know, I guess in a broad way, this next story that I want to tell is a degree about authenticity, but it's a story that when I go to job interviews that I like to try to tell. And I haven't told it in a little while, so maybe with you all, I can practice telling it once again. And so this is the kind of story that I would tell when asked about a situation where I was able to sort of save the day, or I was dealing with a difficult request from my boss. And the context is that I was working for an organization that did a lot of events, and we would regularly bring lots of people together, and frequently the way that they were managed was one person would be expected to be in charge of everything, and he or she would, you know, manage the event from soup to nuts, from people landing at the airport to people getting back to the airport and back on their flights. And there was a situation where a young woman was given that role, and without going into gruesome details, she did a really bad job of it. And the event was going on and things were cratering. And my boss at the time basically looked at me and told me to cancel my flight because I was leaving and it wasn't my event. He said, I need you to stay and I need you to fix this. And the story I like to tell is that I really didn't fix anything per se, but what I did do was create a list of all the people that were involved in making the event possible. And that was, you know, the person that we were dealing with for catering, the person we were dealing with for travel, the person that we were dealing with for, you know, rooms and meeting space. And I was able to share that list with the main client, who admittedly was a very, very difficult person, but doing that simple act and sharing that list of names and contact information really saved the day, because my colleague, who was overwhelmed and not doing a very good job, was not able to basically communicate that information to people. And I ended up being able to work very, very well with, as I said, an admittedly very difficult client, simply because I knew who to contact, and I freely shared it with them. So if there was a problem with, for example, picking up somebody at the airport, both she and I knew that we used this company, and our contact at the company was on this very simple document that I created very, very quickly. And the real moral and lesson of that story for me, and the one that I, when I'm in an interviewing context, I try to point out is that oftentimes the best solution to a problem is not the most flashy, and it's the solution that gets and shares critical information at a critical time in a very simple way. And in this situation, as I said, it was just a document with a list of names and responsibilities. And I think I'll end there because my time's up. But that's it. I always struggle with that story, and I need to get better at it, because it's setting up the context always takes much more time and effort than it needs to. And I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to try to do that here in this context. Amy, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Tim.
I like my peeing between the rails story a lot better than that. I just need to find the right job interview where I can tell the peeing between the rails story.
Got to be out there somewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly. Janitorial staff, probably, or something like that.
Okay. If anyone else has a story, we can keep going with stories. Or if you'd like to take a turn and you'd rather have a question, I also have questions prepared.
Oh, you had questions?
I do have a story I think you guys would like.
Okay, thank you.
And being authentic in my stupidity as a high school student. So this is when I graduated from high school, and everybody has their own high school prank story. So this is mine, and the consequences were drastic. So me and my friends, for our high school prank, decided that we wanted to block people off from parking in the parking lot the next day. All the seniors didn't have to go to school, but we wanted to help all the other kids not go to school from getting into the parking lot. So we had found this old boat. We might have came up with the idea as we found the boat, or in the idea we found the boat. So we found this old boat that was left over in this field somewhere, and we picked it up. I borrowed my uncle's trailer at the time, and we hooked it up to my buddy's truck and everything, and went and picked up this boat. We took it back to my friend's house and spray painted the boat. It was perfect because it was our high school blue color. And so we started spray painting, we had a pot leaf on it. We had 2011, all these bad words. I can't even tell you all the stuff that was on it. Everybody had their way at the boat with spray paint. So we made this humongous plan that we were gonna go and tie this boat to the sign in the front and the tree in the front, so that would block off. It was the perfect plan. We executed it perfectly. We blocked off all the roads, or had like scouts on the side of the road, making sure if they saw a cop or anybody, they would let us know. We did this at like 1 a.m. and pulled it off to perfection. I mean, we got the boat, did it in like a 10-minute span, got the boat off the trailer, tied it up, and then went back to my friend's house to party. And so we were drinking, having fun. People were adding stuff to the boat, and it ended up being like an amazing prank. But then me and my buddies, after having a few drinks, decided we wanted to add this road closed sign to the boat. and it was a huge, one of those that block off a whole street. So we wanted to take that over there. All we had at the time was my buddy's Jeep. So we went to pick up this sign. Excuse me. We didn't have any straps, so our brilliant minds came together and put this thing on top of the Jeep. I jumped on top of the sign on top of the Jeep and was strapping like this. And my other buddy was holding underneath. Comes out, we end up making it almost all the way there. I'm the only one holding on to this sign at this point. He's texting, and my buddy starts going like 40 miles per hour, and the sign starts waving, going crazy. Couldn't hear me yelling at the top, and finally I had to let go and fly off with this thing going 40 miles per hour off a Jeep. So I fall off, land, break my wrist, get a cut on my thing. The cops end up finding us as we were leaving the scene, and we had to take the whole prank down. So I ended up going to the hospital. My buddies had to go back and take the boat and everything back, so it never fell through, or the prank fell through. So that is my high school's prank story that never happened. That happened but never happened. So thank you.
Thank you, Ian. I'm glad you weren't hurt worse.
Yeah, I was definitely, I'm glad I fell off and not the other guys, because they might have not walked away as I did. It was crazy.
Wow. Okay. How much time do I need to leave at the end? Should we do one more?
Yeah, I think grammarian, counter, vote, it's like each one's like a minute. So as long as you stop around in the next like 3 or 4 minutes, you're fine.
Okay. We have time for one more story and or question. Haley or Nick, do either of you want a second turn?
I'll default to Haley. She's okay with that.
Sure, I can go.
All right, thank you.
I want to copy a couple of you. Get my dog. Hold on.
Amy can also give you a table topics question as well.
No, it's show off your dog day. Yeah.
This is Lola.
Okay, you let me know when you're ready.
Okay, oh, she's ready. Okay. Okay, I'm ready. So this is Lola. She's about 9 months old now, and we adopted her in November. So technically she's a pandemic puppy, and she loves to bite, but she does it nicely. And I have grown up with dogs throughout my life. When I was little, I had 2 dogs, an American Eskimo and a Shih Tzu. And they both lived to be about 12 years old. And then after that, my parents got a couple of cats, and I fell in love with their cats, and I took them with me after I moved out. But I lived in a 450 square foot apartment, so it was a little small to have 2 cats in there. And I ended up giving them back to my parents, but it's one of my biggest regrets. And it always made me nervous to get another pet, because I didn't want to get one and then have to give it up or not be able to take care of it. So I took this adoption pretty seriously. But she is a fabulous little companion, and I think she keeps me authentic as well. She helps me not to take myself too seriously or life too seriously, and always reminds me to play. And she is one of the best decisions I've made in the past year, I could think. So thank you for letting me introduce her.
Right, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, our pets have been so important, especially in the last couple years, last year and a half. Kept me sane, I know that. And they always keep us authentic. Well, I think we probably should go ahead with the reports. Let's see who is first. The all counter, do you have a report?
Sure. So I think because we were all speaking extemporaneously, there were probably more ums and ahs and double clutches and all those little ticks than there would be normally. But overall, I think we did a pretty good job, and it's wonderful that I don't have to count myself. So I heard when I was speaking, I probably won the award for most, but Haley, you probably would have given me a run for the money. You used the word "and" quite a bit to sort of string sentences together, which I think is probably the result of extemporaneous speaking, and but something to think about going forward. I counted about 12, but there were probably a few more than that. You used a couple of times as well. Amy, you were pretty clean, but you had a couple of ahs, a few of those ands that are connecting sentences to make them longer, and you had a few you knows, which are sort of check-ins as you were telling a story. But again, I think that was mostly the result of sort of speaking extemporaneously. Nick and Ian, you both did very, very well. Ian, there were a few ands, but nothing that I would consider fatal. And Nick, you used "like" a few times, but again, nothing that I would consider really fatal. So overall, for a largely extemporaneous meeting, it was very, very, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, all counter. That's a hard job.
Not my favorite, but yes.
Someone has to.
Better. Well, but it's better than when we used to have to ring a bell when people were, using it too, certain words too many times, which I really, that was nerve-wracking for me.
Ooh, in the middle of the speaking? Yikes.
Yeah, people could ask for that, and I understand why it can be helpful, but yeah, it was the interrupting the speaking that really gave me the heebie-jeebies.
I can see how that would be difficult. Okay, for our timer report, I have Ian, on your first one, it was 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Second one was 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Tim, I had you at 3 minutes, 45 seconds on the first one and 4 minutes, 27 seconds on the second one. A little long. Haley, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And, oh, I didn't write the other one down. 1 minute, 33 seconds on that second one. So you could have taken some more time on that second one. Nick, 3 minutes and 7 seconds. And Nick sent me mine at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So pretty good, I think. I enjoyed hearing everybody's stories today. It's hard to speak off the cuff like that and not use and like, and
Exactly.
Okay.
And to speak without any real structure too. I think that's, without a prompt or something like that to rely on. You have to sort of come up with the prompt and then speak about it as you're thinking.
I know I actually had trouble figuring out, like, where do I want the beginning and end of this to be? Kind of difficult to figure
Yeah,
that
that
out.
beginning, middle, structuring a beginning, middle, and end is, that is very challenging.
For our word of the day, I only heard it once. I couldn't figure out how to incorporate it. Nick, did you catch any others?
Just myself. So I won that competition. Should I do my grammarians report?
Yeah, okay, yes, grammarian.
Okay. Ian, I like you said your Bruce is the best athlete ever, I think, something like that. You just saying falling off a Jeep just made me laugh. I thought that was hilarious. Just the image of you falling off and being on there.
Why?
Awesome. Tim, the word unbearability, thought that was an interesting word. And man peeing between the rails. Like that phrase and visual. Great, thank you for that. Haley, ellipse chaser. I really connected with that phrase. Amy, just so many great phrases. I have no STDs. It's really good to have water, not wine while I hike. And I like for dating term on the market. I don't really use that, but it definitely makes sense. And that is my Mary's report.
All right, thank you.
I gotta jump, guys. Have a good day. Have a great week.
See you later. The only thing we didn't get to was the vote count, but I don't know if you do that for stories. Oh, there it is.
You can just do the first one, the first block, best table topics, that's storytelling. If you want to select that as well. While that's going on, forgot I was supposed to do the joke inspiration today, so I can end it. And I wanted to share the joke that I have, because I prepared for this. And the joke is, welcome to Assumption Club. I think we all know why we're here. Thank you for your reactions. Okay, awesome.
Thank you, Nick.
Okay.
Take you through the week without your joke. Fun.
I have the votes. You want me to tell them?
Go for it.
Drum roll. Best story goes to the person that's not here is Ian. Good job, Ian.
Oh,
He's
way to
not
go,
here.
Ian.
Enjoy it.
We're all going to be picturing him flying off the back of that Jeep. The rest of it.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, well, I don't have any other announcements. If nobody else does, we are at 1:32, so I don't want to keep you. Any other announcements before we end today?
Let's give Amy a round of applause for her first Toastmaster.
Amy, very good job. That's not easy when things sort of fall apart and having to make it up on the fly like that. That's very good job.
No, if I just made a list of everyone that helped with the event, you would all be on it. So.
And one more time, congratulating Haley as a new member.
Yay!
Thank you.
Easy. Haley, I can stick around for a couple minutes if you have any questions at all.
Sure. Yeah.
All
Okay,
right,
go ahead, take it, Amy.
I will sign off. See you
Have a
all
great
next-
week, everybody.
I'm going to change my camera. Awkward. Okay, awesome. Well, welcome.
Thank you. To hide myself now. There you go.
So I sent you an email kind of overloading you with information, and Eric's going to follow up and kind of go over the different parts of Downtown Speakeasy, the scheduling, the education, which is on pathways.
Okay.
So he'll be in contact with you this week. And then we'll schedule your first speech, maybe a couple weeks or a month. It's up to your availability, but we want to get you on the schedule as fast as possible.
Okay. I don't think I have any questions. I've been reading through the material that you've sent.
Okay.
I haven't met Eric yet. I haven't seen him on a meeting.
Yeah, he today had work issues, so he couldn't meet, but he's the VP of education, so he's kind of in charge of the schedule and just educating members on what to do. So
Okay.
he'll give you it's like a 30-minute orientation. So
Okay.
you're well prepared on what to expect.
Okay, cool. How does mentoring work?
He'll talk about it. He's more in charge of that as well, but the idea is you get matched up with a member and you kind of decide how you want to use the mentor. You guys can meet monthly and kind of just discuss what you're working on, your goals are. You can use the mentor as kind of an accountability coach. It's really up to you how you and your mentor want to establish a relationship and what you want to get out of it.
Okay.
We don't really have like a set playbook on like this is the mentorship program. We just want to give you access to a mentor, and if you want someone to kind of bounce out speech ideas, if you want, you know, they can give you more feedback on how you're doing and insights on your public speaking. But yeah, you kind of let your mentor know like what you want out of it.
Okay. Is there a list of people who are interested in mentoring?
Everybody.
Everybody,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, we can, you don't have to decide now, you can kind of meet the members that are part of it. Right now we have 9 people in the club.
Okay,
You can know everyone and see who you get along with and who somebody want to work with. I don't really use it, unfortunately. I should, but I've been too busy to really set time to connect. But yeah, it's definitely there if you want it.
okay. How long have you been a member?
October 2019. So a year and like 8 months. around there.
Okay, cool.
I love public speaking and I want to get better at it, and this is a great platform to do that.
Yeah. Cool.
And you really decide on how often you want to do it. We can, with only 9 people, we can have you doing a speech once a month. And if that works for you, that's great. If you want to do it every other month, but it's a really, being a smaller club really gives you an option to grow fast if you have the availability. Some people don't, which happens. Some people do. So you kind of decide how involved and how much you want to do. It's kind of your journey.
Okay. Oh, I guess another question I have is the club going back to being in person or
Okay.
staying online?
For definitely this 6-month period, we're going to do like a hybrid we're testing out. So I'm in this co-working space called Green Spaces in Rhino.
Mhm.
Access to this free conference room. If you want to come and hang out, Eric was here last week, and I guess I'm not on the camera anymore. Sat here on the table and kind of try and do this in-person aspect, because the idea is to really like stand up, be in front of a crowd. If that doesn't work, you want to do Zoom, we'll still do the Zoom aspect too. But we're testing it out, see if it works, see if it's worthwhile. If not, then we'll stick to Zoom, but it's a work in progress.
Okay,
But yeah, we're gonna definitely keep it Zoom and testing out this in-person aspect and open to feedback as well.
Okay.
Where do you live?
I'm in Arvada.
Oh yeah, you're in Arvada, okay. So you probably like Zoom better.
Well, I don't mind it really either way, but I used to work down by Union Station near where like McGregor Square is, where the steakhouse is. I don't remember what it's called right now. But I worked on the end of Wine Coop, like 19th and Wine Coop. So I would walk to the Alliance Center because I visited the club a couple of times in like 2018.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I made excuses and got too scared and didn't do it. So 3 years later, I'm back to commit and work on my skills. But yeah, it was really convenient at the time. And so if it goes back there, that would be fine. But I'm not going into work anyways. I'm still working at home.
Yeah, Alliance Center would be nice. The issue is we have to pay to go there, and
Oh, yeah.
we don't have enough members to pay for that space.
Okay.
You need to be around 15 members.
Okay.
Our dues used to be $99 per 6 months. Now it's 51, so it's like half the price.
Okay.
So I have this free spot in Rhino, test it out. If there's more feedback, I'm like, hey, we want to go back to Line Center, is everybody willing to pay for it? Then we would make that progress. But right now we can't, unless Line Center gives me a free room.
Yeah. Where is it in Rhino?
26 in Walnut,
Okay.
if you know where the voice box is, or First Tap. That is kind of the starting point of the Rhino restaurants and bars.
Okay. It sounds like a nice location.
It is, yeah. There's parking on Walnut. It's not the parking you have to give yourself like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
There's parking, it's just street parking.
Okay. But I know Amy is still in New Mexico, right? She's not moving till next month.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep Zoom for at least 6 months or maybe forever and do this hybrid approach.
Okay. Cool. I think that's all I have.
Okay. Yeah, Eric will be in contact with you, schedule a meeting to kind of go over all our different tools, how the roles work. He'll then start putting you into the schedule. Most likely you'll start off doing like the counter role, like the grammarian role, and then we'll get you as a speaking role, and then an evaluator role, and then Toastmaster role. That's kind of like progression.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll read more of the materials too. I know there's
Yeah.
a lot of information.
Yeah, I know, it's a good and a bad thing. It's like we want to inform you, then we overwhelm you, and then when you get overwhelmed, you get paralyzed. So it's
Yeah.
Well, you have my email. If you have any other questions, just reach out to me. I'm happy
Okay.
to email or jump on a call and help you out.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Talk to you later. Bye.